So Shelly has been with me as a coach since 2016. Started out as a hobby coach. I actually worked with her. We planned our weddings together. We had bachelorette parties together. And we were always kind of like one another's wingmen. And I kept bribing and bribing and bribing her to be a coach, you guys. Like, she was an avid gym goer. Like, you see these girls that are powerhouses at the gym lifting weights, like that is and was Shelly. So Shelly's story is a little bit differently, where she always her main like niche, so to say, was always like the girls that go to the gym. So Shelly had to find her unique way to incorporate Beachbody with those girls that like to go to the gym plus be at home. And that was really like a huge learning curve for Shelly, because I rarely went to the gym. If I did, I walked on the treadmill. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And she did an awesome job, you guys, of creating this circle where she was getting women in her home or in her town where she lives now to go to the gym, but also do Beachbody. And that's a hard thing to accomplish. Like, that's hard to get people to believe in like Beachbody product and still go to the gym. So anyways, kudos to Shelly for working her little tail off, because she's done such an awesome job. But yeah, we'll get started. So I just wanted to ask Shelly, what would be your biggest piece of advice to coaches that are working towards Diamond?
Am I unmuted? Okay, hold on a second, you guys. I did kind of take a little bit of notes, but you know what? I can't find them, so I'm just going to free flow it. So in my opinion, my biggest word of advice for somebody who is working towards Diamond really is to, number one, there's only, I feel, in my opinion, there's only one difference between somebody who has hit Diamond or somebody who has like quit Beachbody business or who hasn't hit Diamond yet is the only difference between somebody who's very successful and someone who's unsuccessful is the fact that I did not quit. I've been a coach for 3 years now, and it took me that long to finally decide that this is something that I really want to do. And I just didn't quit. That's the only thing. Like, I showed up every single day, day in and day out, no matter how hard it got, I shared everything on my Instagram stories. I shared the good, the bad, the ugly. I showed up every day, no matter what. And I kept on going, even though I knew some days were so hard and some days were like, Diamond seems so far away from me. I just showed up every single day and I did not quit. And there were so many times when I wanted to, because this business can get really hard. There were so many days that I wanted to quit. And I just remember in the back of my head, one conversation that I had with my sister-in-law, a while back. I was just explaining to her, I want this, I want to do this, but it's so hard. And she's like, well, just don't quit. Whatever you do, just don't. So, just staying consistent within your own journey, sharing that on your stories every single day or showing up on your social media every single day. And yeah, just keep plugging away. I think that everybody on this team call has the ability to hit Diamond, and you guys all will. I know you guys all will. It's just a matter of when. As a matter of when your time is right. So yeah, just show up every day.
I love it. Shelly nailed it. Just don't quit.
Yeah.
So our next question is what are some changes that you have seen from now, since the time you hit Diamond, until present today? What are some changes that you've seen in yourself, your team, leadership, whatever it may be?
In my opinion, the biggest change I seen was in my team culture. For the longest time, I was always looking, on social media, where can I find more people? Where can I find more followers to grow my team? But in reality, my entire team was actually already on my social media page. They were right in front of me. My team culture has went from, just me and, a couple of girls on my team to, something bigger than that. I feel like I was always searching for more people. And I really paid attention to my current followers, those, family or friends that were already interacting with my page and following me, watching my stories every single day. Those were my friends. Those are the people that I needed to pay attention to. So team culture has been a huge game changer for me. Just having those girls, the accountability, Sammy, like we chat every single day, and she is like, I've never even met her before, and she's like one of my best friends now. Nobody really understands my lifestyle outside of the team. I have my friends, outside of this team, but they don't understand health and fitness, and the people that I can go to whenever I'm struggling, or, I can't go to them and say, hey, like my arm, like I could not wash my hair today. My arms are so sore. Like, other people don't want to hear that, but the people on this team, they want to hear about that. So team culture has really just been amazing for me.
I love it. So actually at Summit in one of our leadership trainings, they talked about like how all of us are constantly searching for new people and new followers, that we start focusing on the number of followers that we have, that we forget to serve the people that are actually truly following us now. And I think a lot of times we do that even with like our discount coaches. Like, we get so caught up in finding new people all the time that we forget to serve those that are already with us. And when you serve them, like Shelly just said, like her culture, you guys, like you would never know that her and Sammy have never met. Like, her and Sammy are like two peas in a pod. It's just so surreal to see that, by Shelly being present with her team and serving them day in and day out, like she has a solid, strong foundation underneath her. And that doesn't have to come in big numbers. I mean, she has a solid, strong team that's just now starting to blossom and to grow. She hit diamond, had her emeralds, and now what? You think you got another emerald last week? I mean, it's just like the ripple effect. Her team is just taking off, you guys. So if you just remember to serve the people that you already have, like the same with like your challengers. Don't always go out and look for the number of followers and new people. You have to serve those that are with you. But anyways, moving on, because I could talk all day. So talking to coaches that are working towards diamond, why should diamond rank be a non-negotiable?
Diamond rank. So let's go back a little bit to, chatting about your vision. My vision for me, and, not only me, my little family, for those that don't know me, I'm married. I've been married for 5 years now. And we have a dog, Kiko, our future to be. And this is something that I have, oh, my internet. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah. Okay. So I have been, thinking really hard about my vision and where I want our family to be in 5 and 10 years from now. And I take it back to, these Tuesday night calls. I have been committing to our team calls. Like, that was one of my main goals. I'm going to commit to every single team call. Like, I want to grow a team. I want that team culture, and I want to be an amazing team leader. So I need to commit to these calls every single week. And so I want to take it back to when Jay said, you need to decide whether your goals are either, is your goal income or is your goal recognition? And for me, my goal was, I don't care about the recognition. I don't care about the diamond, or I don't care about the 5-star diamond. Like, that does not matter to me. But I mean, let's be real. We love being here, helping, other people. We love paying it forward, creating that ripple effect. That's initially why we all signed up. But we really wouldn't do this for free. So going back to my vision, and I told Jace, I said, my goal is income. And she said, okay, Shelly, I mean, she was really talking to all of us as a team, but she said, if your goal is income, get to diamond. No matter what, or no matter how you have to get there, get there. If income is your goal. So I was like, I've always been super close. Me and Darcy, we talk all the time. And she's like, you're so close to getting to Diamond. You're so close. And I just checked into my online office like every single day. I knew what I needed. I set that goal. I said, this is what I need to get to Diamond, and I'm going to get there. And Jay said, your next step is 1-star Diamond. If income is your goal, 1-star Diamond. So that's where I'm going. That's where I'm heading, because my vision for, there might be, I think there's a few nurses on the call here. I've always been the type of person who I always strive for better. I used to do hair back in the day, and then like Jace, I used to do hair, and it got to the point where I'm like, I want more in life. So I went to school to be a nurse, and now I'm like, I want more in life. And then so I'm like, okay, I'm a nurse. And there's only so far you can take a nursing income. There's only so far you can take a nursing education. But with coaching, I know in the back of my mind that there are no limits as a coach, like absolute no limits. If I want to have a big, house with marble everywhere and my own pool in the backyard, like I'm not going to have that with a nursing income. But with a coaching income, I can. So that's when I decided my vision is so strong that I want to hit Diamond. I want to hit 1-star Diamond, and that's where I'm going, because I'm going to get there, and I'm going to make my dreams that I am working so hard for, since I was in my early 20s, I'm going to make them come true, because I'm not going to settle for less.
That was awesome, Shelly. Like, oh my gosh, there's like so much truth in that whole thing. Like with coaching, it's limitless. Like you don't cap out really. Like you can grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's just, honestly, you guys, like the last couple of weeks, like Shelly's goal right up until Summit was I want to be Diamond right at Summit. What was a week after you hit Diamond? And every week, I mean, it was like daily, I was sending her updates about her downline. Because I told her, I'm like, once it falls into place, it's a ripple effect, and boom, you're Diamond. And it was like overnight. So I just want to tell you guys, like, don't give up. If you feel like Diamond is so close yet so far away, like it is there, and when the day Shelly hit Diamond, she's like, okay, well, now what? Like, what's your next advice? And I'm like, okay, now we do it again. Now we go out and we find 8 more coaches and we get our emeralds again. Like you just keep duplicating what you're doing. So coaching is just limitless. Like there's so much potential. So my last question for Shelly is, and you already kind of touched base on this, like, but besides rank, Emerald being a rank, how would you define Diamond to other coaches besides just being a rank?
Like I said about my vision, what not only for me, but for my team as well, mainly for my team, because I know that they have the same vision as I do. A lot of the girls on my team are here, we're bringing, with a coaching income, we are bringing moms, out of the working, clocking in and out every single day. We're bringing them home to stay at home and raise their babies. Coaching for me, besides rank, means a lot more. Yes, as a coach, I was, helping people with their their fitness goals. I was helping them with their nutrition. But now when you step up and you decide that you want to lead a team, you're not only helping them with those 2 things, but you're helping them with their mindset, and you're helping them financially. So that is huge for me. Now the fact that I can take health and fitness, and I can teach my girls how to do the same thing that I'm doing, and get them out of debt, and get them, at home with their babies like they want to, get them to, believe that their visions can really, come to life. That is huge for me.
Awesome. Okay, Jace, those are all the questions I have.
I love it. That was amazing.
Well, I hope so, because I'm super nervous about doing this. Like, there's a lot of people on this call.
Yeah, and they all showed up for you. Look how many more people show up for you than for me. It's a good sign, right? But I'm telling you, like, there is nothing more powerful than multiple voices. And I really believe that, because something that I say is something that Darcy probably said a million times, something that Darcy said one time that I've said a million times to my coaches. It just lands when the timing is right. And that's why the monotony is necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's necessary. A couple things that I really loved just already that you said and that I took away from that, and I'll kind of recap it because I know you're not taking notes for those of you at the end, but one of the things that I really have discovered through this diamond process is that diamond is really the beginning of your career. Like diamond is when all of your doors open, right? Until you hit that milestone, like you're still limited. There's still a ceiling. And I think that once you break your emerald ceiling, and then you break your ruby ceiling, and then you break your diamond ceiling, right? What's next is the coolest part of coaching, because you did it and now you get to help other people do it. Because the only way to advance now is to develop other people, right? And in order to do that, you have to continue developing yourself. Star Diamond leadership is all about being someone who can not only do the work, but teach others to do the work successfully. It's really that simple. And so that's why, like, once you get there and all your ceilings are kind of blown off the top, like, it's really just teaching your coaches that same thing and saying, you know what, you're emerald, like, let's blow your ruby ceiling, let's blow your diamond ceiling, so you can get to the point where you can pick 1 or 2 people in your team that you love, Sammy, right? And freaking get them there. And then you just run, and you run together, right? And it's just that journey together that we really crave. I think that quality over quantity was key. In me reaching diamond, I think that that was a really powerful thing for me to realize. And what something you touched on was just, it's, you know, whether you're there and it feels really far out of reach, or if it feels really close, like, at the end of the day, diamond is 8 people. That's it. Like, if you just really simplify it down to that point, like, and you don't quit until you have your 8, you're going to hit it no matter what. Right. And again, like, the timing part of it, and maybe you can touch on this a little bit, Shelly, because, you know, you were a coach for 3 years, and that kind of leads into my very first question that I wanted you to answer, which is, like, when did you have that moment? Like, when did your mind flip where you were like, I'm going to do this? And, like, when was that decision made?
Well, so when I first signed up as a coach, I was, you know, I wanted to do this as a hobby. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this for fun. I'm going to share, you know, everything I'm learning on social media as I go. If I make some money, okay, well, great. I'm, you know, getting, you know, I got a little side income, you know, coming in. Perfect. But last year at Summit, so Summit 2018, I went there, you know, with Darcy and Kari. You know, it was a good time. I was there. I learned a lot. And I had always set the goal, like, okay, I've set, I don't know, I think I had like 3 different diamond goal dates. And in my head, you know, I would see people hit rank and I would be like, oh, that's great. You know, they hit diamond. I want to do that too, because I want to do what everybody else is doing. But, and really deep down inside, it was something that I was kind of interested in. Like, okay, yeah, but I didn't really hone down and say, yes, I wanted this, until I want to say, probably until about a month or so, when we started doing these coach connection calls on Tuesdays. You know, I started to think, I'm like, wait a minute, like, I'm going to Summit again this year, and I'm going at the same rate. I was Emerald last year at Summit, and I'm going again as an Emerald, which isn't bad. My team has grown. I had grown. It took a lot for me to get my own mindset right, you know, before I could grow and teach others to do, you know, what's, you know, all the other things. It wasn't until then I was just like, okay, and chatting with Darcy every single day, like, wait, I'm going to Summit again at the same rank. I need to step it up. You know, if I'm the type of person who, you know, I always want to advance and I always want to do better and I want to get closer to my vision, I really need to figure out what that vision is, and I really need to do this. So every single day, like, I am guilty of this. Like, I would never hardly even check my online office before that. maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week, I'd log in and see how I was doing. Great. You know, I have a little income coming in. I signed up, you know, some new customers. Awesome. But it wasn't until then where I was like, no, I need to do this. Like, I need to advance. I need to make my vision come true. So yeah, I checked in every single day. I sat down with my little list and I said, and I looked at my list and I'm like, these are how many coaches I have. This is what I need. I wanted it so bad that I had my husband signed up as a coach underneath me. And I even had my mom signed up, and I built myself to Diamond, and I built my husband's business center. And I'm like, Carlos, you're a coach. And he's just like, okay. But I built him to Emerald because that's how bad I wanted Diamond. And like Darcy had said, if you really want to be Diamond, you will do anything you can do to get there. So yeah, it wasn't until then I was just like, I've got to do something. I can't just stay in the same spot I have been since I have been there, you know, since last year.
I actually think that leads perfectly into my next question, because I think this is something that is a little bit under talked about, but it's so important, which is sort of the internal dialogue that you tell yourself as you're going through this process. Because like you said, it's really easy to kind of sit on the fence and like, because then every time you don't hit it, it's like, oh, well, my heart wasn't really in it. So it's no big, like, it's my fault. And it's easy to kind of take ownership of that. But when you actually really decide and you feel it within yourself and you're actually going after it, like, it's a different ballgame. Like, there actually is a lot more on the line than when you were just sort of like wishy-washy about it. When you really speak that truth and you make that decision, like, there is a lot of internal dialogue going on day after day after day. So walk me through sort of what changed as far as like your work ethic or your mindset, like how you worked through obstacles that came up.
I really was more than just interested in my Diamond goal date. Like, I was gung-ho 100%. Like, I'm going to hit Diamond before, like, I'm going to hit Diamond the week that I go to Summit. I'm going to do it. And I didn't hit it until the week after, which is fine with me, you know, but I really did commit to setting that goal date. And like I said, I had that list of where, you know, where I was and where I needed to be so that way I can get there. Checking my online office every single day. And like I had said earlier, I poured my heart into my girls and in my, you know, that were already in my challenge group. That's it. That's where all my girls were. It's in my challenge group. And I was looking elsewhere for, you know, signing up coaches, and I didn't need to look elsewhere. The girls on my team that were already my customers, that are already doing Beachbody programs, those were my girls. Those were my team. And I don't know why for the longest time I was looking past that. You know, I don't need a big, huge team on my side. I don't want really a team of 500, 200, 300 coaches. I like my close-knit team. I like my girls that I can, you know, I have the time to text every single day and have that close-knit relationship with them. So I just really poured my heart out into the girls that were already in my group.
I love that. I think you kind of answered my last question, which was sort of how does Diamond fit into your greater vision? But, you know, I liked that you said it was just really more like a milestone. Like, if I wanted to earn income, like, it's just something you have to do. And I think once you realize, like, yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, I want to go after it. Like, you don't look at rank the same. You don't look at these milestones and these things that you have to do the same anymore, because you just realize, like, this is what I have to do if I want to ultimately reach that vision that I'm going towards. And it becomes more of a goal instead of a like destination, if that makes sense. And there's so much beyond Diamond. Like, there just really is. It's just the very, very beginning of something really incredible. And I will say, I've noticed a tremendous change since you started getting on the calls, and really the consistency and dedication. I feel like our whole team has gotten closer. I feel like I've been able to like talk to Darcy's coaches more. I feel like I've gotten to know your new coaches and your coaches on your team, and it's really just connected everyone. And I really do think you guys, like some of these key points that she brought up, which I'm just going to kind of list out. And if I forgot some, Shelly, let me know. But some of the biggest takeaways that I took from her journey to get to this point today is, number one, she poured into what she already had. And I think that that's something that a lot of people overlook. Like, cause you're, like she said, you're always looking for, you know, more followers and more friends and more people. But really, if you're loyal and you take care of the people who take care of you, guys, that's the dream. That's it. That's all you need, right? Pouring into those current challengers, pouring into her team, realizing that her vision isn't, you know, what it isn't. Because I think that's the other thing too, like it's really hard, and maybe you can talk about this, when you've got a lot of different examples on how this business can be built, to really fine tune and take ownership of the way that you personally are going to do it is hard. But it really, like you said, like it's a mental game. It's your internal dialogue that you're telling yourself every day. Like, oh my gosh, that's amazing that, you know, Lindsay Matway has 5,000 coaches under her and a huge picture of girls on the beach, right? I talked about this a lot the last couple calls. Like, you really have to ask yourself though, and not just look at that and say, oh, that's what I have to do in order to be successful. Instead, it's asking yourself, is that what I really want? Is that real? Right? And if it's not, like Shelly, like I love it when our team is small and tight knit and we have time for everybody. Because our team, Darcy knows, our team's been humongous. Our team's been small. It's been in the middle. My favorite time is when it's like this, because it's just so focused and so new and so fresh and so fun. A couple other things that she did was she really committed to those team calls, which I think is key. I think that is a game changer, especially the more we have other coaches come on and share their stories and how they're going through their journey with coaching, and how we can see how different everybody's approach is and how different everybody's pace is, but how really we're all trying to do the same thing, right? And then the very, very last point that I kind of wanted to get to touch on, and maybe Darcy can talk about this a little bit too, because this is something that, because Darcy didn't go diamond immediately either. She had a really similar journey to Shelly, where she had to make the choice, like, oh, I actually want to work this business. I don't want to be a discount coach anymore, right? But I will tell you, in all of the time that I've been doing this, and even in my own personal journey with this specific goal, I've never, ever one time had a coach tell me that diamond happened by accident. It was always an actual conscious decision to do it. And that's really what the difference is that once you make that decision and you really make a commitment to yourself, if you've been immersed in the Beachbody culture, that means something, right? It's not like a wishy-washy thing anymore. And I don't know, Darce, maybe you can talk about that just for a second. Like, just your moment too, like when you were like, oh, I'm going to actually do this now. Like, I've decided I'm going to go diamond.
Yeah, like you said, Jace, like it really is, it's a decision. And like when I decided that, okay, like it's either diamond or I'm done. Like, because I had been a discount coach, you guys, for so long. Like I started just as a discount coach in 2013. I hit diamond in 2016. And it was this moment where I was actually pregnant with Blake, and I was showing up for team calls, and it was, excuse my French if we have little ears on here, but I was half-assing everything with coaching. And I was always pointing fingers at, well, I work 12-hour shifts, like I'm so busy. Like I was always using those same excuses that I hear all of the time. It's like, okay, you guys, I got up this morning at 4 a.m. Like this is just like one of my work days. I got up this morning at 4 a.m. I chugged my pre-workout as I was laying in bed, half asleep, like it was like drooling down my face, but I got up. I left for work at 5:30. I got home at 7:40, and I'm now on a team call. Like I've seen my kids for like 5 minutes. So it's so frustrating to hear people say that, well, I'm busy, or I'm in this season of life where I don't have time. Like if you want it bad enough, you will make sacrifices. Like I never hardly watch any TV. If I do, it's on DVR like 6 days later. I've already missed like how many episodes. Like, if you want this bad enough, you will do it. And Diamond really is not that hard if you commit to it. Like Shelly said, like, I mean, even myself going into Summit this year, I'm like, okay, I'm at the same rank I was at last year. Like, what the heck is going on? But like Shelly nailed it. Like, she got to the point where it's like, okay, like I have to step up my A game, and it's committing to calls. It's actually doing the inviting. Like, I hear from so many coaches that, you know, I'm out there on social media, I'm on my Insta stories, I create that call to action, but I don't get anyone joining me. It simply comes down to you're not inviting. And I see so many of my coaches doing that. You know, they're busy in this season of life. They don't want to take extra time, but they're present on social media, but they're not doing the steps after that. Like, it's great to do you, focus on you, get your workout in, you know, do your everyday life. You're out there being present on social media, but you have to continue to follow up. And like, I saw a huge shift in Shelly. I mean, Shelly was always present on social media, but it was like, her posts started being so much more like meaningful, and you connect to her posts, you guys. It's not just posting to post. Like, she legit is posting to get you to, number one, stop and see her picture. Number two, she sucks you into that post and you're like, yes. I mean, even her Insta stories, like Shelly is our like Ashley Molstad twin. Like, she's this tequila drinking, like, I mean, but she creates fun with that. And in return, she has a fun culture on her team, but she decided just to simply show up, invite from the heart, and go for it. Because if you sit here and teeter-totter around like, yeah, I want to be Diamond, but you're not doing the work because you have this whole pile of excuses, you're never going to get to Diamond. Like, it comes down to, what are your sacrifices every single day? And are you willing to sacrifice simple things every day for a lifelong change? So that's kind of where I'm at.
I muted you instead of unmuted myself. Yes, I agree with that 100%. And I will tell you, it was really confusing when Darcy decided to go Diamond, because I've been trying to get her to realize her potential for a really long time, but I really tried to take it at her pace and not push too much. And so when she finally started to run, and I will tell you guys, like, when someone decides, you can't fake it. Like, when you know they're committed, you know they're committed, because you don't have to do any of the work anymore. Like, you literally just sit back and try and hold on, because that's just sort of what it takes. Like, once you decide to go, you just go and you run there and you don't stop until you hit it, or else you'll die. Like, it's just what it is. Like, you can't stop to think. You can't stop to overthink. You can't stop to analyze. You just have to go. And I saw that same thing happen with Darcy that I saw with Shelly. You just know when that coach has made that choice to do it. And with Darcy, it was confusing because she got pregnant, and it was like the time where I'm like, oh, she's going to be like so crazy. And that's when she decided to be like, this is the time. And it, but it just goes to show, like, Darcy is sort of that coach for me too. Like, every single time I'm like, this sucks, I literally look at her Instagram stories, and she's already done like 15 posts and 15 stories. And I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta like pretend like I'm her coach today. Because half the time it's really not that way. But that's really the beauty of this business, is that once you sort of let go of like the hierarchy and the lowarchy, and everybody's just on the same page, again, just trying to do the same thing. When somebody starts to run, everybody just kind of gathers around and helps you go, and they push and they lead and they support and they guide, and it's just so exciting. So I'm so glad that we had this chance to get on the call. I feel guilty now because Darcy's seen her kids for 5 minutes. So I want to be like, okay, we're done, break. But
I hear him downstairs yelling. I'm like, can we talk longer?
You're like, we're fine. It's totally fine. But no, I think that it's such a cool thing to sort of just watch the process in motion. I think as somebody who's been doing it for a really long time, this is one thing that I think a lot of coaches underestimate is that, like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for 5 years, or I've been doing this for 3 years or 2 years. Like, I should be here by now, or I should be doing this. But honestly, you guys, if you haven't got there yet, you haven't been working the way that you need to get there. So you could really categorize yourself as a discount coach or a hobby coach. And really, when you decide, like, no, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going, this is my vision, that's the day that you start coaching. And that's really what you have to take with you on your journey as you go. Like, from that decision point on is when you started. So it doesn't really matter how long it took you to get there, right, Shelly? It just matters that you're there. Like, you don't even care how long it took. I'm just glad I'm there. And now next year you get to go back as a diamond, hopefully a 1-star, maybe a 2-star, right? And you get to start focusing on other goals. And that alone sometimes is like, yes, right? Like our yoga from Summit, like, I finally can move into another position. And it's just cool. It's cool to be able to teach someone something new that you just learned, you know? And then you realize too, like, there's so many girls on your team and so many people on your team that have that same potential that can't see it within themselves yet. And it almost like kind of lights a fire under you in a different way. And you're like, okay, like, I'm going to get this person. We're going to run. I'm going to get her there. And it just becomes a completely different business. It just does. So Diamond, again, you guys, is it's just the beginning point, but it's the point that you really need to experience in order to move and level up. It's a necessary process that you have to go through if you want to become a leader, if you really want to make this a career, if you really want to do big things with this business, whether it's for your family or for other people or for whatever that grander vision is. Like, it really is going to come down to what's within you and what you tell yourself every single day. And the people who are doing it, they're telling themselves good things every single day. And that's really the only difference. I look at people that that have done things that I hope to do. And what I think to myself is, if you look at this from a broader perspective, like, physically, I can invite and I can have conversations, right, with as many people as I want to. I'm just not. Kind of like what Darcy said. Like, it's until you start inviting, right? And you really start inviting, and all, like Shelly, all of her posts started getting really on point and really focused in and really directed toward one very specific thing, right? And that was her vision, her goal, her dream, her current drive. And I think once you tunnel in that, you kind of forget all the other content that you have to create, and you realize, like, the only content you have to create is your today and what's going on right now and where you're trying to go. That's it. Like, if you're focused on that, people follow that journey. They want to follow people who are doing something, who are chasing something, who are accomplishing something hard. People like to watch that journey. And I think, when you make these decisions to do these bigger things and hit these goals, it's no different than like Success Club Legend, or like really, really just committing to something in your business. I wouldn't even say it even has to be Diamond. If you've never hit Success Club Legend and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this 12 months in a row, no matter what, and that becomes your goal, I guarantee you guys, there will be growth in all areas just by simply committing to that one thing. So before we end, I wanted to just, okay. So I have a little gift for Shelly and for Darcy for their little diamond journey that they've been on, that I'm going to send you guys in the mail. But the more exciting thing is I've really been thinking about a leadership mentorship, and where I really would love to see the leaders of our team thrive. And so I've created a little mentorship program called Go Beyond. And it's for coaches who hit Diamond and they're ready to start that journey from that point. Because again, and Darcy knows this, there's a lot of work left to do still. And there's a lot of things along the way. And I think one of the tragedies that happens sometimes is once people go Diamond, they sort of like think that's it and the end and the all. And really, again, it's the beginning. So Shelly and Darcy, I want you two to be the first two members. This is your official invite into this Go Beyond mentorship. And it's going to be a really exciting thing, but it's basically a 2-star track to a 6-figure income that I put together with 5 15-star coaches. And we sat down and wrote out just sort of, we kind of just brainstormed and talked about like where people really thrive, and where they really can be on their own 2 feet, and really where they can take off and soar and really just build whatever vision they want to from that point. And we sort of based it around, you know, the current temperature of Beachbody and where we're at and how this business works right now. And it's just kind of an exciting thing. So I'm excited to send you guys your official invites to that. And sort of what that means and the breakdown of that. But you guys are the very first 2, which is very exciting for me. And I'm excited to see where it goes, because I think that, you know, if this is something that really works and you guys are the guinea pigs and we get you there and we get you where we want you to go, like this is just another thing that we can layer and duplicate as leaders and really help people achieve. So I'm excited for that. Thank you, Shelly, for being on. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to say? Okay, let me unmute.
Yeah. So as you guys know, I was super nervous to do this call. But one thing that I have really implemented in my life lately, it has been like, say yes, absolutely everything that comes along your way, whether you want to do it or not. Okay, Jace asked me to do this call, and I'm like, my stomach is like, I've got butterflies, like, I don't know about this. But then I remembered, you know, I made that promise to myself that I was going to say yes to absolutely everything, no matter what, whether I wanted to do it or not. And I think that's really where a lot of my growth has come from. I'm doing things in my life that not only in coaching, but in all aspects of my life that I never thought would be possible, just because I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it, because that's where most of the growth does really happen. And I don't know why it took so long in my life to realize that, like, why I stayed so, I don't know, introverted, because I'm extremely introverted, believe it or not.
But I think that that's just part of the journey, though. Like, that's the most beautiful thing. Like, if you would have seen me the first day I started coaching, I was a completely different person. You know what I mean? Like, I was the same. I wouldn't even get on my coaches team calls because, like, and they were just voice. They weren't even video back then, because I was terrified. Like, terrified. I was so afraid. And I kept thinking to myself, like, if I want to be an influencer and I want to help impact people's lives in a positive way, like, I'm going to have to get over this. Like, I'm going to have to learn how to have face-to-face phone calls and be confrontational and like do this. And it's terrifying. I will say, you guys, even at Summit, like, going up on stage and doing the super workout, for me, that was like, who this? I don't know, like, who this girl is, but this is not something that I would ever normally do. But that is the most beautiful part about coaching, is you really get to experience what happens when your walls come down. And when you're in an environment that's safe, then all of them can come down. And you just realize how much life there really is that you are missing. And the fear of missing out on that again is greater than going back to that old introverted self. Like, you just, once that lesson's learned, you just go. And I will say too, like, even if you've reached a point where, like, you've fallen out of love with Beachbody, or you've fallen out of love with yourself, or with your relationships in your life, or with some aspect of it, right? Like a relationship, or like your ability to accomplish something, there is always a road back. You can always get it back and come back stronger. And I believe that with everything. And I love that you closed on that note, Shelly, because that is the epitome of what we're trying to help people accomplish, is to get them past some of those internal barriers and let them see life in a just completely different, more fulfilling way. And if that's something that coaching has done for you, then I think it's paid you back 1,000% already, you know? Darcy's like, yes. Darcy, do you have any final thoughts?
No, not really. It's just if you want diamond that bad, like you will go to bed dreaming of your downline, and you're gonna wake up dreaming of your downline, and you're gonna work your little booties off until that downline is there, and you're there. Like that's all there is to it. Like if you want it, you literally will eat, breathe, and sleep diamond. Like it's just the blink of an eye. And like Jay said, like, you know, when your coaches are ready, like I knew when Shelly was ready, and she was ready to rock, and she did it. She did it like overnight. So it's possible for anyone. If you're a new coach, if you are a more veteran coach, maybe you've been diamond before, so you know what it's like you can get there, and it can happen overnight.
And I will say, like, once you get there, then you never have to get there, worry about getting there again, because you've already done it. So if you drop out, you can get back there, right? You have to do it once. Just do it once. Like, just get there, get it over with so that you can move on and really start to chase that dream, because there's so much more beyond diamond. And there's so much that happens right that second that you hit it within yourself, and that belief that you did something that you never thought you could do is just incredible. And I'm so proud of you both. And I'm like, want to cry, but I love you. And I hope that this lit a fire under some of you guys, because it definitely has lit a fire under me. And I've already done diamond, and I want to do it again. So I love you guys, and we'll talk next week.